To solve a quadratic equation, we will use the quadratic formula. The quadratic equation has two solutions, and here is a plus and a minus. This means that to get the first solution, we put a plus. To get the second solution, we put a minus. In this formula, a, b, and c are the coefficients of the square equation. A is the coefficient in front of x in second power. B is the coefficient in front of x. And c is the constant term. In this quadratic equation, 5 is the coefficient a. -6 is the coefficient b. And +1 is the constant term c. Let's substitute these numbers in the formula. Be careful with the signs. In front of b we have a minus sign. And another minus stands in the equation. Here we get two minuses, and they need to be replaced by a plus. Under the square root, -6 in the second power is 36. And -20. The square root of 16 is 4. To get the first solution, we put a plus sign. To get the second solution, we put a minus sign. We do the calculation and get two solutions for our original quadratic equation. If the quadratic equation has two solutions, then its left part can be represented as a product of two brackets. Here x is the second and x is the first. This is the solution of the quadratic equation. Let's write down such a product for our square equation. We substitute our solutions instead of x first and x second into the formula. Open the brackets and make sure that we get the correct equality. First, I multiply 5 by x and -0.2. Multiply 5x by x and -1. And multiply -1 by x and -1. From -x I subtract 5x, I get -6x. The equality is correct. Please remember this formula. We will need it when we consider the algebraic fractions. Now let's consider the expression under the square root. If this expression is greater than 0, then the quadratic equation will have two solutions. If this expression is equal to 0, then we will not have a square root in the formula, and the solution of the quadratic equation will be 1. If this expression is less than 0, then the solution of the equation will be complex numbers. We will not consider this option in this lesson. Pause the video and first try to solve the following equation yourself. And I will show you the solution in a couple of seconds. There is no numerical coefficient in front of x in the second power, and you need to realize that this coefficient is equal to 1. -10 is b, and -24 is c. The square root of 196 is 14. Let's write the left side of the equation as a product of two brackets using our two solutions. In the formula, we have a minus sign as well as in the solution, so there will be two minus signs. And they need to be replaced by a plus. One cannot be written down. Check this equality yourself. For this, you need to open the brackets and do the multiplication. If in the equation the coefficient at x in the second power is equal to 1, then the solution of the quadratic equation is satisfied by the following equalities. These equalities are called the Vieta's theorem. Let's check them on our equation. The sum of the solutions is equal to the minus of the coefficient b. We have here minus and another minus. This is a plus and the plus. You don't need to write it down. The product of the solutions of the equation is equal to the constant term. For now, let's drop the minus sign in front of 24 and try to factor 24. 24 is equal to 6 times 4. If we add 6 and 4, we get exactly 10. But we will not be able to multiply 6 and 4 so that we get a negative number. One of the numbers here must be negative, but then the sum of these numbers will not be equal to 10. But if we represent 24 as a product of 2 and 12 and put a minus sign in front of 2, that's exactly what we get. That the sum of these numbers is 10, and the product is negative 24. And these numbers are our solutions of the equation. The following equation, I suggest you first try to solve on your own, using first the Vieta theorem, and then the quadratic formula. And I show you the solution. The coefficient b here is 1, which means the sum of the solutions of the quadratic equation will be negative 1. The constant term is negative 90. Let's write 90 as the product of 10 multiplied by 9. And if we put a minus in front of 10, then these numbers will satisfy with this equalities. These numbers will be the solutions to the equation. And also I will show you the solution using the quadratic formula. The square root of 361 is 19. That's all for today. Subscribe to the channel. Bye everyone.